Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world, my name is Brandon, aka Rags to Riches, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, I have no earthly idea why you are here. You have nothing else better to do. Santa is on his way, and even though Santa is on his way, regardless of that, you're still here doing bad things. You know he's on the way, and you're still doing bad things. That can't be good for your Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check chat because I feel ashamed and embarrassed that I said such a stupid thing. Facing reality. Boom! What's up, dude? Facing Powell. Francis Powell. Facing Powell. That's, I'm not going to say it. I got to be careful here. Sam, I am. Hola. Marcus99. What up, all? Francis Powell. Good to have you. Hex47. 647. Bonjour. Hex Rockstar. Let's go. Tell me your secrets. Fast Abdul says. Neek 1001. SEC gets owned. Meanwhile, noobs are selling. It makes the sense. The Hexagon contractor, let's go. Made it live. What was I thinking? Ginger Santa is on his way to steal all the small children's souls in massive dismay. Quinn, weird pink monster thing. Dave Down Under, the fact that Binance sent 30 emails of questions to the SEC in 18 months and didn't get a reply says so much. Just listening, waiting to wash the dishes. So you're being a degenerate. Your wife's going to hate you because, or your husband, I don't, who knows these days, because you're listening to me. So I take full responsibility. I'm actually proud of that. Unfortunately, I am here. For some reason, I hit the do not like.
Rags to Riches. Do not like, comment, or subscribe.
Guys, it's getting weird out here. Let's kind of hop into this. All sorts of things. I'm going to give you an economic update by our Chinese correspondent here. Potentially Chinese, potentially Japanese, potentially Asian. I don't want to mischaracterize this gentleman, but it is what it is. Sorry in advance. Let's go ahead and hear it.
Big financial institutions such as Goldman Sachs are saying that the recession in the U.S. is now over. So basically, we survived, and congratulations to all of us. But I want to ask you a serious question. Do you agree with this assessment of the economy? Please let me know in the comments down below. So let's unpack all of this, and the story starts like this. But I want to get this straight from the start. So we're not talking about the recession just being canceled. It's more than that. If you didn't get the memo, according to the government reports, the economy right now is booming. So here's what happened. GDP in the US for the third quarter was reported as positive 4.9%. So 4.9% is, that's awesome. That's incredible. And then last week, the Commerce Department revised the figure higher. So it's even better. It went from 4.9% to the revision of 5.2%. Okay, with that being said, this is where the Federal Reserve steps into the picture. So usually, when the economy is booming, such as right now, that is a good time to raise interest rates. So the concept is very simple. If the economy is hot, like right now, then you want to raise interest rates to slow down the economy, to make sure that the economy doesn't overheat, especially when inflation is a threat. So will the Federal Reserve raise interest rates higher since the economy is booming right now? And the answer is it doesn't look like it. So it's a no. On Friday, Jerome Powell, chair of the Federal Reserve, said that the Fed funds interest rate is well into restrictive territory. So that basically means that the interest rates right now, the Fed funds rate, is high enough, in his opinion. As in, they don't need to raise interest rates any higher. So the Fed funds interest rate is currently at 5.5%, and this may very well be the peak interest rate in this economic cycle. So I want you to listen to this because this is fascinating. So the market is saying that there's an 89% chance that the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates by the May 1st meeting. So that's May 1st. That's less than 5 months away. A month ago, the odds of a rate increase by that meeting, by the May 1st meeting, was at 40%. And right now, it's shot up to 89%. So this is all according to the CME Fed Watch tool. Okay, so here's the thing. Normally, when the economy is struggling, that's when the Federal Reserve wants to cut interest rates. So the concept is very straightforward. If the economy is doing bad, then you want to lower interest rates to boost the economy, because lower interest rates encourages people and businesses to borrow money and to spend money. So for example, like I'm going to spell this out for everybody. Imagine if mortgage interest rates right now, so we're talking about the residential real estate market. Imagine if mortgage interest rates right now were at 2.75%. Then people would be buying homes like crazy. Or how about if auto loans, so vehicle loans are at 0%, then more people would be buying cars. If business loans were near 0%, then more businesses would borrow money to expand, to hire people, to hire employees, and to buy equipment. So you're supposed to lower interest rates when the economy is struggling. So you're supposed to raise interest rates when the economy is booming. So the government says that the economy is booming, but the Federal Reserve is signaling no more interest rate increases. And the overwhelming market expectation is that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates 4 times next year in 2024. So you might wonder, okay, with that being said, what is the disconnect then? So supposedly, here's the rationale. So the economy is booming right now. Let's just agree. Let's just say yes, the economy is booming. The Federal Reserve is signaling their next move will be an interest rate cut. Not because the economy is struggling, no. But they're going to lower interest rates because they've done such a good job of lowering inflation. So the Federal Reserve Governor, Christopher Waller, said, and I quote, "There's no reason that interest rates must stay really high if inflation keeps declining consistently." So that's the Federal Reserve Governor. But Jerome Powell, who's the chair of the Federal Reserve, he's not as optimistic. He's being more cautious. Powell said that he does not want to declare victory against inflation just yet. So Powell is basically leaving himself some outs. He's giving himself some wiggle room just in case the rate of inflation starts to reaccelerate. So it's better to be safe than sorry from his perspective. So Powell said that the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates even higher if it becomes appropriate to do so. Okay, but what's appropriate? What's appropriate to Powell, to the Federal Reserve? Powell implied that inflation would really have to show some strong momentum for the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates higher. So it's not a decision that he or the Federal Reserve would take lightly. So essentially, Powell is saying that there's a very high bar for raising interest rates. In terms of when the Federal Reserve will pivot their policy and cut interest rates, Powell has been clear that it's not going to happen anytime soon. However, what is soon? That's subjective. Is that 5 months from now? Is it 6 months? Is it 9 months, 12 months? But again, the market expectation is that the first interest rate cuts occurs on May 1st, that FOMC meeting. And all these expectations are important. They're very important because these expectations caused interest rates on government debt to decline sharply. So that sounds very boring. Why should anyone care about that, right? But actually, it's very important because it affects our entire financial system.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was our news correspondent here. And a lot of what he's saying makes a lot of sense. We've been talking about this for quite a while. The one interesting thing that I find about this is he's typically he's a realist, but he's tending towards pessimism. The Federal Reserve is willing to cut interest rates right now because the economy is so strong. And one way to get out of inflation, high inflation periods, is to increase production. The economy, by all measurable standards we went over last week, we'll probably go over on Thursday this week. The economy's booming, man. It's kicking. Now, obviously, the skeptic, in the back of my head, I'm actually curious whether or not this information is accurate. Why? Because we have Democrats in control. And if we had Republicans in control, quite honestly, I'd feel the same way, to be honest with you guys. But here's the deal. There's a presidential election coming up, and the Democrats will do anything that they need to maintain control, just like the Republicans would probably do. Although I would say that on a scale and a spectrum of corruption and evil, I'm going to go ahead and give the nod to the Democrat Party. There's some Democrats in here. I am not sorry for saying that whatsoever. Okay? So here's the thing. If interest rates are going to be decreasing 4 times this year, what does that actually mean for cryptocurrency? What does that mean for the markets? Specifically, there's some people out there that are looking at $44,000 Bitcoin that got hit today on Coinbase. And they're saying, what's the deal here? What's the situation? We're going to dive all into that, but I wanted to give you guys that quick update to see what's happening. We'll check chat here again real quick. Hex Token, shout out to Hex Token. If you want incredible content, he is probably like top 3 favorite streamers in this ecosystem. Check out Hex Token. Levi, yeah, you hit the notification bell. I hate you for that. Chaz Tone, I'll just buy my own gift. The SEC can't even score a win if it came to a wet dream. Don't think you understand the brilliance of that comment. Texan OG day 1. Magnus, what's up, dude? Magnus from the North Pole. How are the reindeer doing? How's old Santa Claus doing? How's Mrs. Claus doing? Santa Claus, is he taking his diabetes medication? Is he ready for the big trip? Let me know. What is Rudolph eating right now to get fired up? He's probably a carnivore. Giddy up, Brant. Did you know that deer eat mice? I bet most people didn't know that. Chad, D to the power of 13. We have the best Asians, don't we, folks? Christopher Andre, giddy up, Brandon. Christopher Andre is a member of Gingerfolk. If you would like to know how to become a member of Gingerfolk, I will not tell you, and that is completely up to you to find out. Hex Force 1, what is up, Texans? Casa, dude, Casa, is it Casa or Casa, man? Mi Casa es su Casa? What is this deal? What's going on? Godfather J6, shout out to Casa. I think if you're the same person putting out all that cool content on Twitter and tagging me, and that's a really smart thing to do, by the way. Really, really smart thing to do. Good job. Hex Token. Texans love ragatons. How low do we really think Hex is? How do we really think Hex is doing? I think, generally speaking, if we look at the markets broadly, say Hex is pretty much on par with everything else. Certainly, it went down quite a bit. And we are in extremely extenuating circumstances right now, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's freaking out. Don't think that you're going to get into crypto and be rich overnight. A lot of people said that there was the possibility of that happening, and there certainly was. Before everything happened. Before Gary Gensler went on his tirade. Before charges came to RH, PulseX, PulseChain, and Hex. All right, we're in the middle of that right now, folks. You got to keep your expectations leveled. Okay, you got to understand what's happening. You have to change your worldview. Because if you don't, you're going to get screwed. But surprisingly, and we'll just kind of get into this, all right? We'll check this out because I don't know who started this FUD. I don't know who started it, but there is somebody out there in the community that's starting it. And by the time it gets to me, it's just an all-out roar. In my DMs, I've got people freaking out. So I had to address it this morning. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Yeah, so let's share this. Old Raggedy here. Let's zoom in. So this morning, dude, I just had enough. I opened up my DMs. I'm just doing my morning routine, and I take a look, and there's like 5 people. Rags, what's up? Rags, everything's tanking. Rags, the whole market's taking off, and blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. Most of you are new. Most of you have not been around for a bull market. You all cut your teeth in a damn bear. You all been on suicide watch for the past freaking 24 months. But here we are, okay? We're transitioning between a bear and a bull. So what happens? What sorts of things happen? Well, we'll go into that second. Here's what I said. There's an undercurrent of FUD hitting the community about why PulseChain is selling off and everything else in crypto is pumping. I, Rags to the riches, don't think that's the case. Many of the major L1s and Ethereum L2s have similar chart structures as PulseChain. In fact, nowhere to go. I just missed it. Man, that was a good flow too, man. I had that flow going. In fact, PulseChain is up 70% over Ethereum since August. How many people know that? How many people have seen that in your timeline? Nobody. Nobody's seen that. Okay, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying all the fudders, they don't point that out, do they? The market at large considers Pulse Chain an altcoin. So I got to start educating you guys on how everybody views us, because it's not about how you view yourself, okay? It's about the perception of the world. The closer, the more you're in tune with what that looks like, in my estimation, the easier life gets for a variety of reasons. Okay. The market at large considers Pulse Chain an altcoin. Thus, when Bitcoin pumps, Pulse Chain will what? It will wane. Okay? When BTC slows or corrects, so BTC's pumping, it starts to slow down, starts to chop sideways, maybe goes down a little bit. Liquidity or value flows back into altcoins. It will flow back into Pulse Chain. All right. That's how this game works. That's how this game works. Every single cycle, you're seeing a very, very small amount of it right now. It's going to continue to happen. So you got to understand that this is the game. Okay. People chase green candles. If Bitcoin's pumping, people are going to put money into Bitcoin. All right. They will bridge value out of Pulse Chain to get some sort of exposure to Bitcoin. Could they do wrap Bitcoin? Sure. But they might be freaked out, whatever. Or they might want to get just straight Bitcoin in the Bitcoin network, whatever. A lot of people bridge out of Pulse Chain and get wrap Bitcoin on Ethereum. That's just what happens. But then when it slows down, the total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin starts to pump. Okay. I could show you many times. I've shown you many times before. So, when BTC slows or corrects, liquidity flows back into alts and Pulse Chain will pump. Transition periods between bull and bear show large pumps followed by large corrections. Rinse and repeat. What have I been screaming to you guys for like the past 6 months? I said these are going to be this transition period. You're going to see 100, 200, 300, 500% pumps in your favorite coin of the day, followed by 70, 80, 90% corrections. Okay? But the moral of the story is you went 4 steps up and you went 2 steps back or 3 steps back, but you're still 1 step ahead or 2 steps ahead. And that process becomes more frequent. And that's how the parabola is forming. Okay, this is what happens right now. All right, so we've been saying that. If you've been on this channel, you've heard it a million times, and now we're seeing it. And I told you that people are going to freak out about this, and they are, but it's okay. We're here to teach folks. You guys dum-dums, you stuck around this whole time. Might as well stick around a little bit longer. Wait for this thing to pop off. No one was bitching when we bounced 140% off the bottom in 10 weeks. Hashtag Pulse Chain. Everyone chases green candles, especially whales. Okay, they're no different. Throw away the diamond-handed virtue signaling, please. Okay, your actions in your wallets and your ledgers and your MetaMask are different from the words that are coming out of your mouth. Okay, throw away the diamond-handed virtue signaling, please. Charts of other things are provided below. So here's the rat pulse chart. Look at that. Okay, we got 144% bounce, and now we're correcting down probably about 30 or 40% now, coming up on 50% kind of soon. Will this be a line that we bounce off of? We're about to find out. Okay, but that's pulse. Let's keep going. Oh, look at Arbitrum. Arbitrum's down to the right. These are on the weekly time frames, folks. Weekly. Okay, so each one of these candles stand for a week. Pulse Chain looks much better than Arbitrum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 weeks of candles for Pulse Chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's just been down and to the right for Arbitrum. Okay. Optimism, going back 15 weeks, it's pumped probably 70%. All right. Look at that. Pulse Chain's beating out Optimism on the same time frame. Matic, Polygon, what's happening here? Polygon has gone up about 100%. And look, they had a top. It's corrected back down. It corrected back down 40 to 50%. Now they're pumping. Now they're falling off again. Folks, I'm proving it to you with actual charts, not feelings. All right. Same thing with XRP. Now, XRP's only gone up, 25, 30% in the same amount of time. AVAX, this was on the weekly, going back 15 weeks. They were going down pretty far. They've had a pretty substantial pump. Okay. This is like a 3 or 4x pump. They're looking strong. The point being, there are projects and there are major cryptocurrencies that get a lot of airtime. that are doing worse than Pulse Chain. And then there are some that are doing a little bit better than Pulse Chain. So you guys just have to push out all the crazy, just like you pushed out the crazy in the bear market. And you have to take a look for yourself. Learn TradingView. Just learn to pull up a chart. Here's Cardano. Cardano looks very similar to AVAX. Pumped about the same time. This is very a bullish structure here. Okay. So, I think I also made another thing. Should I say it? I'm trying to tell people. Okay, so here it is. Some of y'all out there are miserable human beings who beg to see pain and destruction and create evil and lies purposefully. -1 in chat, ladies and gentlemen. -1 in chat. If you know somebody outside of cryptocurrency that statement applies to. -1 in chat. Now that that's established, we know that there's tons of these people in cryptocurrency. Am I correct in saying that? Some of y'all out there are miserable human beings who beg to see pain and destruction and create evil and lies purposefully. What's my definition of evil? Something that harms another person. Let's combat your beta energy with factual bitch slaps, ladies and gentlemen.
And his name is John C.
So we got to keep this perspective. We got to understand what's happening here. Let's check a couple charts on here. Bitcoin. All right. We're going to check Bitcoin, see what's happening. Bitcoin on the daily. All right. What did we say, guys? This has been marked for a while. I said, if we break out here, this was going back probably like 30 or 40 days. I said, if we break out here, guys, these are the levels that we need to pay attention to. And I'm going to go on the weekly because it's going to be easier to see these candles. We're starting to push up in uncharted territory. I said, if we break through here, guys, it's only what was it, a 1x when we were talking about this down here? 2x, 1.5x. It's like a 1x, okay? I said, we can get to 60,000 very quickly. We can get to 60,000 very quickly, okay? We've been in a prolonged and extended uptrend. Here's what I find interesting, though, okay? How come this happened? Why did this massive gold pump happen? And now we have a little bit of a wick at the bottom that indicates that there is still buying pressure. What do the people on Wall Street know that we do not? Okay? What do the people on Wall Street know that we do not? Why are they buying gold? Why are they buying Bitcoin? Are they doing it solely because of the fundamental news that these ETFs are just going to pop out of thin air in January? Is that what they're doing? Or are they looking at the macroeconomic situation and they're saying, you know what, something's funny out there? Are we finally seeing people use cryptocurrency as a hedge against the tyranny of the Federal Reserve? I don't know. I don't believe it, but I'm going to point it out. So in terms of Bitcoin, what's going to happen here? I have no idea what's going to happen, guys. I'm not a prophet. What I can say is this. Just like the Titanic is hulking and massive, okay? If you have a rowboat and you try to pump the brakes, okay, or let's just say, full reverse, boom. Rowboat's going to stop, probably within, 20 or 30 yards, right? From 40 miles an hour to stop 30 yards. You probably rip your engine out. Bitcoin's like the Titanic. Okay, the Bitcoin is like the USS Gerald Ford, which is like 1,100 feet of hulking massive steel cutting through the oceans with nuclear power that has never been seen in the entire history of mankind. How long does it take that big bastard to slow down? In my estimation, well, it's top secret, but it could take miles. It could take, well, to say it properly, nautical miles. It could take nautical miles. All right. So what's that mean with this? There is inertia and there is energy to the upside with Bitcoin right now. Inertia and energy to the upside. This is a parabolic structure. All right. This is really, really strong on the time frames. Now, why I say parabolic, it looks linear. Well, it's curving up. It's curving up now. Where are we going to go with this? There's going to be massive amounts, ladies and gentlemen, of psychological resistance around 50,000. Okay. I would say probably starting between 46 and 54. We'll go ahead and mark it, okay, to keep me honest. So you guys can see here. I'm going to zoom into the smaller time frames. We're going to check it out. We're going to see what's going on here. And we're going to place this properly, if it allows me to. God bless America. All right. Okay. So let's check it out here. I would say that we start seeing that major interaction quite possibly. Yeah, I'd say that we start seeing that major interaction around 47. And then we're going to see it maybe come up to about 50 to 51. This is the range that I would see this candle popping up into. One of two things is going to happen. All right, we're going to get some massive inertia to the upside. You're going to see it come into this zone. You're going to see it chop sideways. It might sell off, come back down, and then you might confirm this turns from a line of resistance to a line of support, and then we bounce further. That's an option. What's another option? We just punch straight through. It gets weird because all these people are going to start freaking out. All the Bitcoiners are going to start freaking out. It goes crazy. And then we don't really see any major resistance until we get into the 60,000 range. This can happen fast. All right. Now, what's scary about this, there's two things. Halvenings, you typically have fall offs. That's coming in April, right? Let's check our macro chart here. Check and see how close we are. So this green line is our estimated halvening. We have halvenings going all the way back. Green line estimated halvening in April. Beyond that, where does Rags think the potential market cycle top could be? Way out here. And this from the halvening, we estimate this to be about 480 days, 12 to 18 months, 18 months past the halvening. What is this cycle starting to look like? I'm going to go to the weekly to give us an idea here. What this cycle could actually look like is somewhere all the way through the halvening. You know, we had a little bit of a sell-off prior to the halvening, which we all the way through. Okay. We had a local blow-off top. We had a correction. 2012, 2013 looks very similar to what we're dealing with now. We had a pump. We had a fall off. We started pumping probably 2.5, 3 years in. There was a market bottom. Maybe we go through, guys, and maybe we see something like this. Halvening, fall off 70%, and then we push to the top. Now, this is really BS. It's like, I look at myself. I would listen to this afterwards and be like, based on what? There are some fundamentals here. There are a lot of mining companies that have the ability to move price because they buy or sell. In the halvening has a lot to do with their business decisions. And to think that that doesn't play a big role in what's happening, I think that you would be completely wrong in that. So total crypto market cap, I want to look at this too, because this is going to be kind of what we're looking at here. This is pretty significant. And let me see here. As Bitcoin dominance pushes upwards, when you see these fall offs, okay, this is the market cap Bitcoin dominance. When you see this go up and then fall off, that's when it gives the opportunity for what to happen. Remember what I said? The liquidity goes into the altcoins, and the altcoins tend to pump. Now, when I say altcoins, what else am I saying? I'm saying stables. People want the ability to de-risk. They don't have that ability strongly with Bitcoin. So they're going to go into the altcoin network to lock in their profits. That's what's happening here. So if you see Bitcoin pumping and it slows down or starts to chop sideways, you're going to see the total crypto market cap pump pretty hard. Or crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. The altcoins will pump. That's their opportunity. It's the pyramid of pump. I've talked about it before. Bitcoin pumps, it slows. All that economic energy falls down to the next level, which is your Pulse chain, your Ethereum, your Solana, your Phantom, those big market cap sort of projects. And then it falls underneath to the mid levels, and then it falls to the micro caps. And that cycle just repeats. So that's what we're seeing right now. All right. I do want to show you one thing, and then we're going to get into Gary Gensler getting his bootay whooped, getting his butt whooped. There it is. Follow South Texas Crypto at JCito20. Cryptographics and the team over here. We're going to click this link and watch this. A really cool explainer of Texan. Really excited about that. And I'm going to play for you just an absolutely phenomenal speech by Daniel Miller, the president of the TNM, who is fighting for Texans every single day. So let's watch this first. 3 minutes.
The Texan token is a financial tool that any
Cryptographics voiceover.
individual or organization from across the world can use to secure their future. It operates through an immutable smart contract on the blockchain, aiming to mimic the functions of a traditional endowment. This involves safeguarding your initial investment while generating a continuous stream of cash flow. Texan was founded by a passionate, fully doxed team dedicated to providing hope for anyone in the world to break away from debt slavery. I'll explain everything you need to know in this short and easy to understand video, but bear in mind that there's no financial advice on this channel. I'm just gathering the facts so that my lazy friends don't have to. Texan is a truly decentralized protocol operating on both Ethereum and Pulse Chain, with a circulating supply of Texan tokens that were airdropped at zero value to those who supported the Texas nationalist movement. While no additional tokens will ever be created, it's important to know that this airdrop represents only a small portion of the total supply of 100 trillion tokens. The majority is locked in a smart contract without admin keys and can only be accessed by users as staking rewards outlined in the contract. Texan token holders can stake or lock up their tokens for a predetermined time period to earn interest on their principal. The contract offers a 5% base interest rate per year, and with each consecutive year you stake, the interest multiplier increases. This results in the compounding of your earnings, which can be maximized to an annual interest of 87% when you stake for the full maximum length of 22 years. But what differentiates the Texan token contract is an interest scraping function. This feature enables stakeholders to extract the value earned from their investment at any time without having to end their principal stake. While the scraping function provides flexibility for the staker, it's crucial to understand that once the interest is scraped, the yearly multiplier is reset to day one. The longer you delay gratification, the more exponential your interest gets. This staking mechanism allows your money to work for you as long as you follow the rules of the contract. There will be no penalty for ending a stake too late, but for stakers who have served less than 50% of their staking period, a penalty of 50% of their principal and 100% of their interest earned since their last scrape is applied. For stakers who have served more than 50% of their staking period, the penalty will be proportionate to the remaining time in that stake. All of these early end stake penalties are burned permanently, creating a deflationary environment for Texan token. Texan is a simple yet powerful financial tool with no employees to pay or the ability to modify the code running this crypto endowment. Locking up for longer pays much better compared to traditional endowments and takes away the stress that traders often face in this highly volatile crypto ecosystem. Share your thoughts in the comments and let me know if you found this video useful. Ask any question you might still have or feel free to ask them in the public Telegram room. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell notification to get notified for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Bruh, outstanding, freaking stand. Do we have a clap here? Do we have the clap? Finbear, don't ask that, or don't answer. Yeah, we got a clap. There we go. We got some clappage. All right. Guys, check out Crypto Hexplained, okay? Crypto Hexplained, and they have a variety of very, very good videos that kind of go over all your favorite protocols. You can figure out what's happening. I did not pay anybody for this. That's very, very important. I actually did a voiceover for the Power City folks as well on his channel. He had asked me to do that. Again, no cost. Very, very important to know that. Now we're going to get into this. Joe says, Rags to Riches boxer briefs or tidy whities. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Why anything at all? Why put boundaries and limits on yourself, guys? Just because I'm free. Free balling. There it is. All right. The SEC is facing another defeat in its recycled lawsuit against Kraken. The Securities and Exchange Commission is suing Kraken for selling cryptocurrencies. However, looks like a recycled version of a losing lawsuit. The legal duel between the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and Kraken, a leading cryptocurrency exchange, looks like another misguided attempt by the SEC to exert control over an industry that fundamentally challenges an outdated regulatory playbook. The agency's lawsuit, filed in November, accuses Kraken of operating as an unregistered securities exchange. The lawsuit isn't just a repeat of the SEC's past failures. It's also a glaring example of regulatory overreach that fails to grasp the essence of cryptocurrency. It mirrors the agency's actions against Coinbase, which mark a pattern of aggressive regulation that is both ineffectual and counterproductive. In its case against Coinbase, the SEC allegations similarly involved operating as an unregistered securities exchange. Okay. Unlike traditional securities exchanges, platforms like Kraken offer a diverse range of digital assets that do not fit neatly into the securities frameworks. But what has the SEC signaled? That everything is a security except Bitcoin. Ramon Carrillo says SEC equals thugs. Absolutely. Non-elected bureaucratic thugs. That's what you are. And you know what? You know what's a shame? Here's a shame, guys. 5,500 people working at the SEC, taking your tax dollars, stealing your tax dollars, never give them back to you. That's a problem. That's frustrating, right? Non-elected bureaucrats, no accountability. You just go and do whatever the hell you want. I mean, is this your strategy? Are you saying Congress better do something or we're going to keep screwing people? Is that how we operate nowadays? Is that proper? Mr. Gensler, ask me this question. Would your mama approve of what you're doing right now? I think she would take you behind the woodshed and beat that little white bootay nice and raw. The SEC lawsuit against Kraken shamed the exchange for telling users they could attempt to profit by dollar cost averaging into Solana. What? Have you guys gone down any major highway and any billboard? And they're like, oh, yeah, you can make X amount of percent on your money if you deposit this here or anything, ETFs, whatever. But they're mad. Oh, Kraken's actually telling people to do correct things. Okay, that makes sense. Kraken lawsuit is set to become another example of the SEC's failure to successfully regulate the crypto industry, akin to the outcome of its actions against Coinbase. Now, I wanted to point this out too. This was I think this was the bill. Am I in here? That was wild. All right. Here's what we do here. This New Jersey bill is very, very interesting for this reason. If you've been following the updates on the case with Coinbase and the case with Ripple and a lot of other different cases, Debtbox, a New Jersey lawmaker would make crypto sold to institutional investors a security. The bill complements one already on the governor's desk that regulates digital assets owned by individuals. So when you're looking at the XRP case, what's the judge saying? The judge saying there's a clear limit to the Howey test. In that, if you have a regular person who has access to be able to purchase a token on the open market with absolutely no expectation of return whatsoever, they didn't go into a back room with the executives of Ripple. The executives of Ripple didn't say, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this, and can try to convince them to invest. And the executives of Ripple didn't give them paperwork to sign, and these VCs come and give them money, and they sign the paperwork and make it official. That is much, much different. That whole idea is much different than a regular person taking some of their money and just going to buy XRP in the open market. Okay? So words matter. Contracts matter, intent matters. I think that this bill is aimed towards that. If you're a venture capitalist and you are approaching a cryptocurrency company, you are going to be expected, and the company is going to be expected to state very, very clearly that what they're doing is considered a securities contract. That's what this is. But if you're just a regular Joe, you're not going to be held responsible, and a cryptocurrency company is not going to be held responsible. This is very, very important in my mind for Pulse Chain and Hex and PulseX. If they can prove that Richard Hart took VC money and made these backroom deals with people and wined and dined them before they launched, that's a different story. But they're not going to be able to prove that whatsoever. And we're starting to see indications and reflections from the legal industry at large that this is the interpretations that these judges are making. The New Jersey General Assembly may consider a bill that would decide when a digital asset or virtual currency is a security under state law. Okay, now we have precedent being set. All virtual currencies issued and sold to institutional investors would be considered securities in the U.S. state of New Jersey under the bill introduced by Democratic Assembly member Herb Conway Jr. Okay, so if it's sold to institutional investors who have a company, their entire mission is to make profit, okay, for their shareholders or for the people that are investing in them. If you're selling it to them, then that is considered security. If you're not selling it to them and it's just open to the public for the public to do what they want and they have no expectations of the work of others or any of that, the how you test matters, words matter, they're saying that it is not a security. I think that this is very interesting. I'm surprised that this has not been talked about a little bit more. Let me pull this up. New Jersey bill. Yeah. How come this hasn't been talked about a little bit more here? This is pretty important in my mind. It's extremely important. It's extremely important in the precedent that could be set for this. And to kick this down to the state level and have states decide this, then you set up a fight between the federal government. Well, what it's actually doing is putting more pressure on Congress to come up with a solution. Because, the states look to the federal government to come up with laws. Sometimes. Well, actually, most of the time. States are lazy, okay? So they look for guidance from the federal government. If the federal government waits too long or the laws are bad or bad things are happening to the states are going to say, listen, federal power is just an illusion. We're just going to take this back and do our own thing. I'm wondering if that's what we're looking at here. The cryptocurrency lobby is also increasing. So are we starting to see the fruits of that labor? I don't know. We could be. We definitely could be. BlackRock receives $100,000 seed funding for spot Bitcoin ETF. The unknown seed investor agreed to purchase 100,000 shares on October 27, 2023. I bet it's Michael Saylor. BlackRock revealed that it received $100,000 as seed capital for its proposed Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. Okay, the capital investor agreed to purchase $100,000 in shares on October 27th, 2023, and October 27th, 2023, took delivery of 4,000 shares at a price per share price of $25, the seed shares. Okay, so that's interesting. Guys, we're just seeing more and more movement on this. What else are we seeing here? Well, the SEC pushes deadline to decide on Grayscale Spot Ether ETF, the Spot Ether ETF. So the SEC has decided to move this out until January 2024. I think that a lot of the chart that we're seeing is just, if you guys have been through a bull run, it's like any piece of news, even if it's fake, will pump the freaking price 50 or 60% in a matter of hours. You get these God candles that go up 100%. If you haven't been around, I mean, some of you guys have. Some of you guys have been around. But any piece of news that happens, and I would say that the bull run is it's a news frenzy. Any piece of positive news makes the markets go crazy. We're starting to see that. Guys, this is the behavior that we're starting to see. If the market was a person and they were seeking some type of, psychological healthcare, they would certainly be bipolar. They would certainly be schizophrenic. Some of them would be sociopathic and potentially psychopathic as well. That's just the reality of this, dude. We are tapped straight into the limbic system, and we've got dollar value attached to it, and it gets crazy. So the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has delayed its decision on whether to approve or disapprove of spot Ether ETF. All right. In a December 5th notice, the SEC said it would designate a longer period on whether to approve or disapprove of a proposed rule change that would allow NYSE ARCA to list and trade shares of the Grayscale Ethereum Trust. All right. They're just pushing the ball down the road. Why? Why do you keep pushing the ball down the road? What is happening here? I have made the statement ever since, 18 months ago? Guys, help me out here in chat that have been around that long. Ever since we found out that XRP is being sued by the SEC, and simultaneously on their website, it says that they're working with the British and US government to create the CBDCs. And I said, all right, okay, nothing makes sense anymore. There's nothing tangible to moor yourself to in terms of reality anymore. And I think, Charlie 19, COVID-19 did this for us anyway. But, ever since that point, I said, what's going on? I think that the federal government, this is a strong belief of mine based on tons of research. Okay, this is not just me moonboying. You guys have heard my reasoning here. I think the U.S. government is in bed with a handful of five major banks. I think that they use COVID to bankrupt many of these local and regional banks to be able to gobble up a majority of the market share. And this happens in, I would imagine, late or early stage socialism, mid-stage socialism. I guess this is now a symptom of late stage capitalism, where they're turning socialist. Well, they want to gobble up the market. They want to gobble up liquidity. They don't want liquidity to be put into the market because they want to control it with the five banks that play ball with them. If those banks are on board with government initiatives, then it's going to be much easier to control the people. And I think it's very clear at this point in my mind that there is some tomfoolery and shenanigans going on. Okay? You got Gary Gensler, who is a product of Wall Street, a literal product of Wall Street. How come there's no conflict of freaking interest when it comes to Gary Gensler running the SEC? He's sitting down having dinner with these folks, and he's pushing this, kicking this ball down the road. Why? Why is this? You freaking kidding me here, ladies and gentlemen? We know why this is. We're not dumb around here. We've seen too much of this. We know exactly why it is. If I keep talking, y'all are going to get me freaking fired up again. I don't have time to get all fired up. Let's check chat. Briz says thirsty. Mr. Chinks says SEC is losing mad credibility, even to Congress. Briz says stop horny posting in the chat. Mods, please assist. Briz says Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Chad says we came back super zoomed in. Yeah, you guys saw those blackheads. Thought you were going to a commercial break. Briz says, I saw a huge eyeball. Illuminati confirmed. Baby Blue, Neek 10001. Hit the like, folks. Hexwood, what's up? It won't amend the IIJA at the federal level. That is true. But that's going to, all of this is going to be pushed to the Supreme Court. In fact, we got some indication the Supreme Court's going to start hearing some of these cases that have to do with the SEC. Moonmut, hello, my Hexagon friends. I don't think they understand the meaning of deadline. Cookie de chocolata. Are you supposed to be able to push back deadlines? And the federal government doesn't give a damn. Whether it's a press conference or it's major legislation or whatever it is, nobody cares. Hello, Hexagons. Bull coming. Let's go Texan. Rich Liberation. What is good? Humberto Gonzalez. Yo, blessings, Brandon. You must be in the air and space right now because you've either been in Florida, the Dominican Republic, sunny South Florida, Dominican Republic, or where were you last time? Puerto Rico or Jamaica or Venezuela or something? I don't know where you were. All right. Nah, come on, man. They can't all be in on it. Was that a dig at Crypto Heartbeat and his flat earth theories? I don't know. March 15, 2020, GSIB banks meet at the White House. Yeah. And remember when Biden went to go meet with the Treasury Secretary with all those folks too? Yeah, okay. Federal Reserve's private. Okay, there's a separation between the government and the Federal Reserve. Yeah, right. Joe Biden took 30 minutes to say Say I'm running for president again. He passed out in between. He stumbled and he started talking about Chihuahuas in New Mexico and the annexation of Puerto Rico. Crooks don't like our what? Our DeFi. Yeah, they don't like our DeFi. Okay, let's make some T-shirts, man. DeFi, like DeFi. You guys can bring something up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world, just a quick reminder here. It's very, very important.
Rags to riches. Do not like, comment, or subscribe.
I've got some pretty cool interviews lined up for the beginning of the year. Got them lined up. We're going to push hard into 2024. You know what? I almost feel like, should we do it, guys? It's been so long. Should we do this? Humberto Gonzalez says, on my way home to sunny Miami Thursday from Bogota, Colombia. That's right. You're in Colombia. All right. I think we got to do this, folks. It's been so long. You know what I'm going to do? You think it's guitar? I mean, we could do guitar too, but you know, hold on. All right. It's been so long. Gosh, I'm so excited. All right, guys. We got to turn this up now. All right. Here it is. The FUD is strong. The FUD is here. We don't care when FUD is near. Find a bear, hang him high. Find a bear, make him cry. When the going gets tough, you better hunker down and punch a bear or make him drown. Let's freaking go.